All right, today we're going to talk about alcohol stoves. Why I think they're a good option for you to have if you're elk hunting or mule deer hunting or in a tactical situation. I first was exposed to these alcohol stoves back in the 80s when I did some training with the Swedish military and some Arctic training, alpine training and that. And these guys used it, and I'm going to go over some of the things I like about it and you know, why it's a good option and a cheap option for you to use. So basically, what is an alcohol stove? It's a little tiny brass container that they drill holes in. They put a wick inside of it, and you can place fuel down in here, denatured alcohol or ethyl alcohol, whichever one you want to use. I like the denatured wood alcohol. I apologize for the dogs in the background noise. We have a highway nearby, and my two German Shepherds going crazy. But basically, it comes like this, a little brass container. It has a wick built into the inside of it. When you put your alcohol in here, it'll burn, I'll show you here in a minute, and come up out of it. It has a seal cap, which has a rubber in it to keep it sealed, so that you can, if you leave any residue in there, I wouldn't necessarily transport fuel in this, but if you leave some residue fuel in there and you want to not waste it, you can put the cap on it and seal it. It comes with a simmer cap like this, and what this does is basically, if you want to simmer, you open that up, put it over the top of it, and it will reduce the flame so that you can simmer products on there, whatever it is you're going. So what I'm going to do to start with is, because I've never tried this before and while I'm filming, I'm going to actually take a pot full of 4 cups of water in my Alpine dogs. My Alpine, you can show them going crazy if you want. Alpine stove kit that I use on my white gas. Do I think the alcohol stove is better than white gas? No, absolutely not. This is just a option for under $20 that you can do. You can buy the stove, the whole kit, basically for 20 bucks with a cup of whatever choice you choose, whether you want to use a canteen cup or you want to use an $5 Walmart Ozarka Trail 18-ounce steel cup. So what we're going to do today is we're going to get this started. So what kind of fuels do you use? Well, you can use rubbing alcohol, isopropyl, not 50%. You want to use 91% or 99%. This is just a prop to kind of show you that you can use rubbing alcohol. It works okay if you get 91 or 99%. The other thing that works really well, and everyone uses, is denatured alcohol. You can get this in the spirit aisle at Walmart, where they, by spirit aisle, I mean mineral spirits, where they, for the paint and whatnot, go down the paint section, you'll find this. It's like $6 or $7 a carry. It's a little expensive, but it burns real well. What most people use is the heat. This is a gas line antifreeze for automobiles. People are thinking, well, hey, this got chemicals in it. That's not good. But most people I know use this. There's no chemicals that are let off. You're not going to drink it. You're not going to cook this in your house. You won't even smell this. It's odorless, just like carbon monoxide is. It's absolutely odorless. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the heat today, and I'm going to do a demonstration. I'm going to also do a test while I'm doing this. And we are going to, apologize again for the dogs, we're going to put in about 1.5 ounces of fuel in here, and we're going to light this up. You can light this with matches. You can light it with a lighter like this. You can light it with we got it there. You can light a match. You can light it with a ferro rod or whatever, and it'll work for you. You cannot even see this, so that's why you have to make sure you get it going there. And it does light really well. We got it going there. Yeah, there we go. And what we're going to do is I'm going to let this get to a plume real quick here. And then we're going to take this 4 cups of water on this large pan. Normally this is used on my, yeah, there we go. Normally this is used on my white gas. I'm kind of stumbling here. But we're going to try it on this to see if it will actually work on here, if it'll actually heat up, and if we'll actually get this to boil within a lot of time. Most times with these alcohol stoves, you can boil 2 cups within 6 minutes. If it's real cold outside, it may take 8 minutes. But we're going to go ahead and try to do this with this pot. So we're going to put this on here. We're going to get this started. And while I do that, while I let that go, I apologize for the neighbor kids making noise. They're in their yards. I mean, we're going to go over some of the stuff that I've learned over the years. So how did I start with these? Well, when I went and trained with the Swedish Army, they use what's called the Trangia. Theirs was a combat one, and it was a little bit bigger. It holds 4 ounces. This one only holds 2 ounces. This is a civilian version that you can get. This is the top of the line, high quality. It's like $17 to get this, and it works great. They use this, and I thought, yeah, it's not a bad idea. I kind of like my white gas for cold weather, but this is real good. Works pretty well. I'm getting distracted by the kids. Sorry about that. And this is the Trangia. It's made in Sweden. Real good thing to have, and I highly recommend it. It's a little bit more expensive than these other ones. This is the Red Camp that we're using here. It's basically a copy of this. This was originally designed in like 1925, and it was used by the, like I say, the Swedish military. They also use it in Finland when I trained there, and also some of the guys were using it in Norway. They're all connected, those countries. Things that you can do. So you've got yourself a little kit like this, and here's some of the things I've added. You can take a basic lid like this. I learned this from those guys over there in Norway, actually. They would take a cup like this, add a little bit of fluid to the bottom of it in cold weather, and they would just, you see where it burnt right here. They add a little fluid, and then they would stick their stove in there and would heat the stove up first before they actually light it. And that's a way you can do it when it's extremely cold to get the fuel to atomize better. So basically, let me take this off real quick and show you another option. So you can do that with a simple lid. Will help you for cold weather. The way they did it over there, and this comes with their kit, is this is a preheater for cold weather. It has a little pad. You put some alcohol on this, and then you attach it to this, like so, and then it'll hold that up, and you can light it, and it will keep the same way I'm doing with this thing. It will heat the bottom of it up and heat the fluid that's up inside of here, and basically heat it in extreme cool weather. If it's 10 below or colder, you need something like this or like this to make it light. Now, a British military friend of mine, he come up with the concept of taking a piece of one sheet of toilet paper, demonstration, and rolling it together and then sticking it down in the fluid and then lighting it, and it would make a wick so that when it's really cold, it would light it. And it does work, and it works really well. Or you can put a little bit of fuel on the outside of it and light it to help warm the fluid up if you're not going to keep this in your pocket. I don't recommend putting it in your pocket because, you know, it could leak, but that's just an option you have. What most guys do, what we did when we were over there with them, we just take our match, light it, and as you can see on the burn mark on this, where I've done it before on this one, you light it and you hold it over the thing and you kind of just let it drop down there until it starts burning up the wood, and then you just leave the stick in there and it'll burn the stick up, and it'll heat that up and make that work. So you can do that. You can do this with a ferro rod. The ferro rod in cold weather, it just takes a lot more strikes to get it to go. This is still getting pretty good, yeah. So basically that's just some of the options, things you can do with these. What I like about them is they're completely quiet. So if you're elk hunting or you're mule deer hunting, you're glassing, yes, a isobutane propane stove with a canister is much more efficient. Your water will boil a lot faster, and for the price, it's probably even cheaper because you can get a lot more burns out of that fuel canister. But for 20 bucks, you can get this little stove. You can either just, you know, carry your fuel like this, which is my preferred way, or you can buy one of these cheap little $5 bottles and keep your alcohol in it. It holds up to 8 ounces. Or if you're like the Swedish military, Trangia makes them a bottle. They make this in tan for their military or red for civilians. It's a heavy duty polymer plastic. It's pretty much destruction proof, and it's got a lid on it. So when you want to pour it, you just squeeze it and it pours out into the container. There's nothing in here. I'm just doing a demonstration. That's several options you can do with that. The other thing for a stove piece, if you just buy the Trangia and you don't get the stove cradle that comes with these, you can buy these for $5. And what you basically do is just slip this together, put it on top, and now you've got a cup holder. So you can take your canteen cup or whatever, and you can put it on top here like this. And of course we're on an edge right here, sorry. And you can heat your canteen cup on top of that. So you don't need the other piece to carry with you. So you could literally just carry the stove, that little cup, and all that in your little bag without this other piece if you didn't want to, and just use that. You know, for 20 bucks, it's not a bad option to have one of these. And as we see here, I will see how long it takes to boil. We're at like 3 minutes now. What does the timer say on that? Where are we at?
9 minutes.
9 minutes. So we have been at this for, we lit that about, probably about 4 minutes ago. So it's already starting, I think it's already starting to get ready to boil. Let's take a look at it. But as you can see, it's not boiling yet. That's 4 cups of water. I wanted to see if it would actually work because of the fact that it is such a lot of water on a wide dispersed cup, and it's open. The wind can get in there, and I'm not using the shield. That's another thing that you can do. You can use a windshield. These are like $10. You can spend more money if you want. It's not necessary. I use this one for all my stoves. It's a fold-out aluminum shield, and the way this works is you basically it's for snow. So you stick it down in the snow, and you put it around your item like so, and it will keep the heat concealed in there and allow it to keep the wind from getting to it. So it basically is a containment deal. Dog's gonna knock everything over. And it works really good for that. So that's just nothing. They're like 10 bucks, not a bad investment. The other thing you can invest in if you want to, if you're into these alcohol, so I got this just on a whim, is a triangle stove. This one is $35 from Click Quick. Just purchased this, give it a try. And it's got a built-in base so that you drop it in and your stove is up. You can adjust it. It's got 2 levels. There's another level here. So you can keep it up off the snow. You go up 1 more level. The snow won't get it cold, and you can actually then put either this underneath it to get it warm if you want, or you can use my cup underneath it. And this works as a windbreak also. Keeps from, if you spill any alcohol, it keeps from getting leaves on fire or anything like that. And you also buy a windshield from them, similar to this, that goes around and sets on top of this if you want. This is like $35 to make a titanium version for $50. I recommend it if you're gonna have an alcohol stove. This is the one that comes from Trangia. It's another cold weather option. You can drop some of the alcohol in there and burn it, and it will heat up that in cold weather and make it work more efficiently. There's a few of the options that you can do. And all right, what did I miss? I kind of blew over this fast. I don't want to bore you with all this, but you can start the alcohol stove with a ferro rod, with match, with a lighter, whichever you want. It will burn in cold weather. Like I say, they use this in Sweden and Finland and Norway. A lot of them use white gas like we do, but a lot of the guys like the traditional alcohol stove because A, it's quiet, it has no smell. So when this burns, you can't hear it. If you listen, maybe when the wind blows through, that's the only thing you can hear, and it's cooking right now. The wind blowing through it, that's all you can hear. I also am doing I did a night video with it, with the wind blowing. You can hear the highway, unfortunately, in it, but you can hear even with the wind blowing, it still stayed lit on open wind, and I'll show that at the end of this video. But alcohol stove is a good stove. It's a little bit more touchy than some. If you want one that's carefree, then you're going to want to have like the pocket rocket with the isobutane propane canisters. What I usually do is I carry my white gas in cold weather out to my base camp, and I use either the MSR reactor or the MSR windbreaker, wind burner, at my spike camp if it's real cold and windy and stuff, because it's a lot easier to get that going than it is this. But this will also work in the wind if you shield it like I'm doing here. It'll help you a lot, and it's cheap. It's 20 bucks. If you don't spend 50 bucks for a pocket rocket, and then 7 bucks for a canister, you can buy all of this for 20 bucks, and you can get a can of heat for $1.50, or a bottle of heat for $1.50. That's 16 ounces. So basically, it'll give you 4 days for one person to cook your meals, your coffee, your hot chocolate, whatever you're using, by having one bottle of that stuff. So basically, you can get 4 days out of taking this bottle or converting it to, this bottle, whatever you want to do, or even this bottle. You might get 3 days out of that bottle. With your stove, in a little pouch like this, I think you're talking maybe a total of, with the fluid, maybe 8 ounces. So it's light, compact, and cheap, 20 bucks. It's just an option. I mean, I like my propane, I like my white gas for real cold weather, but this is just a real good option that I like. And go ahead and take this off here. And we'll see how this is doing. You can't even see it, or you can't even here, but you can see the water is really starting to get hot right now. This is hot to the touch. The bubbles are starting to form. It's not going as fast as I'd like it to. It's at like I don't know, 6 minutes right now. Normally with 2 cups of water, if I put it into a canteen cup like this or a cylinder type cup, like me and my wife have 18-ounce Ozarka Trail cups that hold over the center, they will heat up in 6 minutes, and in cold weather within 8. So you about an ounce, a little over an ounce of fuel, ounce and a half, and you got 2 cups of hot water. We can both have a cup of coffee with that, or whatever, or we can then put another cup on with 2 cups of water, and we can eat a meal together. So it's just another option. I don't think the alcohol stove is the greatest invention since, you know, whipped butter, but it is a great option. It does put off heat. If you can feel right here, there's no, you can't see this really. There's no smell. At night you can see a little bit, and you'll see in my video in the end, but it's actually boiling this water right now. And if it's cold, this is nice, especially if you put the shield, you can keep your hands in front of it. And I mean, it's pretty warm. You can actually, you know, warm your hands by this. And it's quiet. So instead of building a fire at your glassing site, you can have this going. And if you bring a couple of those with you, you can, you know, keep your hands warm too, just by running your hands close to it and keeping it warm. Just an option. I'm hoping this would boil by the time I got through the video. And I don't want to bore you with the whole end of it, but yeah, it's almost there. It's extremely hot. It's starting to bubble. It's not boiled yet, but and it's still running pretty hot. Well, we'll go ahead and cut the video for there. I know that it boils 2 cups of water. I wanted to see if it would do 4. You know, if you were doing this to sterilize water or melt snow, I don't think it would probably work very well. But for this, for, you know, if you're doing meals and you put 4 cups of good water in there, and you just need hot water to make your meals, it would probably work for that. And I'm sure if I let this set, it'll continue to burn. I'm sure if I let you set here for, you know, I think they say about 10 minutes for 4 cups of water. If I, hey, you guys knock it off. If I let it set for that, you guys be nice. Be nice to her. So if I let it set for, you know, 10 or 11 minutes, we'd have 2 cups of hot, or 4 cups of hot boiling water. Apologize for the dogs. I hope that gave you some ideas, and I hope I didn't miss anything. Thanks for watching. Wind is really blowing tonight. You can see it doesn't blow it out. You just need a windshield. And my preheating tray as a lid worked great. Heat up. It's not that cold out, but it did work. So just to show you, these will do well in high winds. They won't heat your water as well, but they will stay burning as long as you shield them. Then your items or your water will go.